Dan Wetzel is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, and now ESPN, the worldwide leader. Dan Wetzel, who has long been maybe the best of our college football columnists, opinioners, and I'm glad you're with the worldwide leader, Dan. Thank you very much for the time. Things are basically the same, though, right?
Yeah, still the same. Pretty much the same. Still happy to come on your show. It's been a long time we've been coming on.
I appreciate you doing this. I also appreciated the headline of the latest piece you wrote. Let's all settle down about Bill Belichick's girlfriend. We're going to get to that. It has been a fascination here now for more than 3 weeks. They finally dragged me into it for the first week and a half. I said, why are we even discussing this? Because it was just then about the video of her at the spring practice, the final spring practice,
right.
Stuff, and I guess it was a wireless microphone battery pack in his pocket. Whatever. I really don't care. But I do want to ask you this, because I have talked about it in this way. This has nothing to do with Jordan Hudson. I do believe that this will be the most followed, the most attention ever given to a college football program. And I include all college football programs in the history of college football. They're putting TCU and UNC on Labor Day night. No chance that matchup would ever draw Labor Day night attention, ever. They're sending it to Ireland next year. No chance this matchup would ever make it. UNC football has been, okay, whatever. But now, because Bill Belichick's there, it's the game in town.
Well, certainly for UNC. It reminds me a little of Dion going to Colorado.
Right.
All of a sudden, Colorado's 1-11 before. I mean, UNC at least is a good program, right? Like it's rarely great, but
right.
They're good. Colorado's horrible. And they started this national team. I mean, Colorado State was like the primetime CBS game, like week 2. So I don't know about the most ever, but it's just the whole story was fascinating, whether Bill Belichick had a girlfriend or not.
Right.
And how is this going to work? Can he get an extra couple wins out of this? How will recruits view him? You know, he's an exceptional teacher of football. He's incredible at game management. You know, we're not going to have one of these I forgot to take a knee and run out the clock kind of losses. Like, God bless college football coaches, but, you know, but can he impart that? How does he teach? How does he teach, you know, younger players? Is there an advantage in the fact that he's used to half his roster being transient every year?
Right.
You know, he took a kid, Malcolm Butler, undrafted out of West Alabama as their last defensive back, and by the Super Bowl against Seattle, he's reading one of the biggest plays in the history of NFL and making this interception. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can he do that with these players? And so, I'm fascinated with what happens, and absolutely, it's you know, you're going to get game day and national games, and I'm sure full house. And I mean, I love, like, is it week 2? He's coaching at like UNC's at like the 20,000 seat Charlotte Stadium.
They play a game like that this year.
At Charlotte, I think. It's like, you know, Bill Belichick's going to be in a stadium that's like a Texas high school stadium. Like, what the heck? But it's going to be really, really interesting to see how he handles it. So,
Dan Wetzel, columnist, ESPN.com, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I do think, first of all, it's great that Mario Cristobal is catching strays in a conversation.
I didn't
fine.
say his name.
It's fine. We all know who it was. It's fine.
It could have been anybody.
Well, not always. I don't know. There aren't a lot of those out there. Mario, hey, look, Miami, I was talking to a good friend of mine, somebody you know well, Chip Patterson. We were talking about the rosters in the ACC that are good enough to compete nationally, maybe not win a title, but be in that mix. And after Clemson, the only one he could say from the ACC was Miami. Now, to that end, North Carolina's roster, he told me, probably isn't as good this year as it was last year, although they should be better at quarterback than they were a year ago. It's going to take all of his wizarding skills to put this team in a better position to win than last year's team.
Absolutely. It's not like Mac Brown was a bad coach. I mean,
right.
Again, he's not taking over a 1-11 program. So what can he do at North Carolina? And it's hard to make that last jump, and it's really hard if you aren't at a certain type of school that has had that advantage, and talent wins out. So I'm not really expecting anything huge from Belichick. In 2-3 years, could they win the ACC? Could they be in the playoff? That type of stuff. Yeah, I think those are reasonable goals. But I'm not. He's not. It's not that as much as there's an occasional snafu of forgetting to take the knee. It's not like you can just come in. Belichick's old offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss, right? He took over at Notre Dame and declared that there would be schematic advantage,
yes.
Yeah, and there wasn't. Okay, or the schematic advantage is too complicated for the players to run.
Right.
There's some of that. I've seen NBA coaches come back to college basketball and go, "Why does no one run a 2-for-1 at the end of a half?" Well, it's because they just can't. Right. The players are just not capable of pulling it off.
You can do it. You just run two bad. You just run two bad plays.
Bad forced plays. Yeah. like Krzyzewski and Dean and they thought of it. They just couldn't get it done. So at some point, it's just the way it is. You don't have whatever Chris Paul or Jason Kidd or whoever your point guard is running it. So we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. But it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be a really interesting guy to have in the league. He's a big personality. I think Carolina fans will appreciate him. He can be really interesting with the media. I know the perception he's just gruff and mean, but it really depends on his mood and what questions you ask and things like that. He also can be just absolutely fascinating. He'll give 5-minute answers on certain topics, and so I think this is going to be really interesting.
Dan Wetzel, ESPN, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I do think that I don't know what success is. I think there is probably no gray area here. I think this is probably going to be wildly successful, and that doesn't mean they're going to make the playoff in year one, but they're going to be really good, or they're going to be mediocre, and it will be viewed as a failure in the eyes of a lot of people, but it's going to be fun. I hope it lasts for more than a year. My suspicion is it will. I've been optimistic that this is not – everybody was afraid that, he's never going to coach a game. I think he's going to coach multiple years here. Because I think that there's going to be enough success to bring him back for another year. Let me get to, I guess, the real reason why I reached out in the first place was Jordan Hudson. What is your view of this mess? I'll just call it a mess. I don't know how messy it is. I know the university as a whole really isn't thrilled about what they're dealing with right now, but what's your view of the Jordan Hudson experience here?
Yeah, so what I was writing was really a football part. Look, you have a relationship between two people that are 49-year age difference. It's interesting, intriguing. It's gonna create. Yeah. I mean, look, it just is. And there's going to be these awkward. You have a 24-year-old who's on social media, and you have a 73-year-old who used to call it face mask, and and now he's posing as a fisherman in a Halloween thing. Some of the stuff's just, it's going to be awkward, and it's either funny or it's crazy. Whatever Purple's reaction to all that is totally correct. If they think, boy, this is really somebody that age shouldn't date someone that age, fine. If they say, hey, who cares? Fine. I don't really care. I'm not here to tell you. My thing last week was just, you're getting the school should fire him.
Yeah.
He's going to be distracted. He's got his girlfriend's around the program. Every coach's wife is around the program.
Yep.
Mac Brown would talk about his wife all the time.
Sally. Absolutely.
Yeah, Sally.
Miss Terry and Nick Saban.
Miss Terry's hosting recruits. Mickey Krzyzewski's this is the wives are part of the program.
Yeah.
So the idea that, oh my goodness, his significant other is on an email thread is not news. It would be if if we find out she is in the film room breaking down, Clemson's, jet suite. Now I'd be like, okay, this other stuff is just way overblown for football. And my thing with Belichick is he's always coached in chaos. I think he thrives on it and he invites it. And so when Patriots were charged with Spygate, right, filming, and this is a big scandal, they go win the Super Bowl. When Tom Brady is accused of deflating the footballs in the AFC Championship, they go win the Super Bowl. When Brady gets suspended, they go win the Super Bowl. Or they didn't win it with Spygate. They went 16-0 though.
Oh.
Okay. Aaron Hernandez is, one of his players is standing trial for murder. They go win the Super Bowl. He's feuded with everybody. There's always something going on with Belichick. It's loud. He's quiet, but it's loud. It's a lot of passive aggressive. It's whatever. Generally speaking, he wins. Now, did they win at the end without Brady? No, but he held it together for longer than anybody. Multiple runs. I'm not worried about his ability to coach the team, teach the team, recruit, all of those things. I don't think this is elder abuse. I don't think this guy doesn't know what's going on. Like, it just got out of control. Like, come on. Bill Belichick.
I know.
He's going to be fine. That doesn't mean I think they're going 12-0, but I don't. What if they were going 10-2? They're still going to go 10-2. If they were going to go 6-6, they're still going. This is just not it. It's just he is not going to be a factor in his ability to do the job. It's just he has a really understandably interesting personal relationship right now, but it's May.
My theory, Dan, is that people are so used to Bill, basically you couldn't tell Bill what to do. And now the appearance, especially because of that CBS Sunday morning news show, is that he is being, he's like the puppet and she's the marionette. She's the puppet master. He's the marionette, and he's being manipulated by her. People can't process that. That's basically my theory on that. Is like she's directing everything that he does, and they can't deal with it.
That's not the Bill Belichick I've covered for 20 years. I just doubt. I mean, is she involved? Yeah. Where's the publicist for the book? They should have been there. I don't know. I just don't think this is that big of a thing. He would have his last girlfriend was around a lot. You'd see her at games and things.
Right.
Also, like, people didn't shoot video. If she's on the sideline at a game, they're not shooting video of her or a coach's wife, right?
Well,
so it's just, I don't know, but my suspicion is this is not nearly it's just got to be a runaway train. It's different. It's absolutely different, but the Bill Belichick I know is an extremely, extremely serious guy. And the part, if I was a Carolina fan, that I would take heart to was how this offseason, he immediately hit the road recruiting and went everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a lot of houses. He's not going to get all those guys, but he's refining that. He is out working. And so the fact he did a little publicity for this book and this video goes, I'm not going to give up a guy. The guy's done 30 years in public eye. There's a, 10-second clip of him, of his girlfriend saying, we're not talking about that. I'm not all of a sudden going to say he's lost it and this guy's getting, led around.
I don't know. I like the beach shots. I like the the Titanic pose where she's balancing on his foot. I never
thought I'd see it.
I like it.
Didn't really need it in my life.
Yeah. No. See, you didn't know you needed it, Dan. You actually did.
I didn't need it. No, I didn't. But it's okay. It's okay.
Hey, it's to find out.
They're going to call the right defensive assignment when they're playing state.
Right.
That's the part that's really going to determine this, and I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's gone. To find out a 73-year-old man is into role playing, I think that is okay. I think it keeps you young, and that's fine. You got to relate.
You got to relate to players who are in their late teens, early 20s anyway. Anything you do that keeps you young is fine. Dan Wetzel, I appreciate your time, my friend.
Thanks,
Congratulations again on the new gig. We will talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Adam. Take care, man.